Hello boys, my name is Yoshi, and welcome back to my sort of blind playthrough. Well, yeah, it is a blind playthrough of Pokémon Legends Arceus for Nintendo Switch. In the last video, we finally completed the epic Wisp encounter and caught Spiritomb and added it to our Pokédex. Now we're gonna try and complete all of the requests in the Alabaster Icelands, a major area that has a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna talk to him to Triodad. Just the person I've been waiting for. My Kekio has wandered off to go play, but come back yet. Do you think you can help me find him? Oh, sorry, back home in the Vulpix were called Kekio, you see. Did you not go to play with the rest? This is what the low Invokers are like. They've been right into the snow with their right fur, so trying to find them all by myself would take ages. I'm still missing finding them. Able to find my Vulpix play around the Avachokes. Should you find them all and tell them to come back? Avalanche slope sheet is said, okay. Well, I guess we're gonna do that. So we need to going through. Fortunately, there's no really good way to search around this area other than using word deer, so we're gonna just use word deer for this entire section. Whereas previously I was using pairs and flying up in different spots. We're using word deer this time because it's the only really good way of finding the characters we want more quickly. Oh, hello, Eevee. It's quite rare to see an Eevee and a Blissey for that same matter. Either Chansey or Blissey. I feel like some of these Pokemon up here are quite rare. Might be something that I did not know about. We still need more catches on some of these. So let's get a Lickitung. And just so you know, I'm not worried about not catching enough of them. I definitely will still try to catch them. I've just been kind of ignoring it because I had other things to do. Anytime one of them wants food as part of one of their catching parts, it's usually pretty easy to that. Also, I did not know that the next item in the requirement required 10 answers. Oof. That's a bit much, even for me. Okay, from the looks of it, we're just gonna have to search out on foot and try to find all these Alolan Vulpixes. They're just like a regular Vulpix, but instead of being red, they are white. Just like he said. They said that they were supposed to play near the Avalanche slopes, so I guess that's where we're going. Going everywhere around, trying to find them in the Avalanche slopes. Haven't gotten a Gabite yet. I purposely ignored the other ones because the only other one that was there at the time was an Alpha Gabite, and not really interested in facing that style of Pokemon that early. So I thought I would just face it now instead. I did some research as well, and I found out that there's actually even more requests now as of a later update, some of which are very challenging. Don't worry too much about those requests, I will get to them at some point. I just have to obviously unlock them. Of course, you cannot unlock them until after every single other request is completed. And even after completing main requests, there are more requests that have to be completed on top of that. So it is definitely not easy by any standards. But yeah, continuing the trend of I am trying to catch at least one of each Pokemon if I can. So that's why whenever I see something new, I will try to catch it. Not necessarily everybody, but I'll definitely try to do stuff. Also need to recognize that they don't always like certain fruit. Also need to pay attention to the way they're facing. Bother, he's not gonna go out anytime soon. I like how in the previous videos, I was not even interested in catching any of the stuff like Alolan Vulpix and all that nonsense. I completely ignored it for the most part. I didn't even think about what I could do with certain stuff. Give us a little bit lower down. You'd be surprised. They may not necessarily like the same stuff, by the way. But it's always nice to give it a try. Oh great, we don't even see an area where we can hide from this one. So we'll have to do the backup classic. That's actually going to be my nickname for I have to just go down and use the lower tier of this to find stuff. Also, not necessarily every Pokemon is going to eat food all the time. For most ones that do eat food, they're pretty easy to catch, but I also need to recognize that not everyone is going to eat food as easily. So it'll be either like their range is not the best, or they're just so interested in fighting that it's almost impossible to even get a hit on them. Yeah. And it seems like I'm not going to get any better luck. So I'm just going to have to do the classic stun attack. Or it'll just be 85. Didn't think it would be that hard. Alright, well, this is a bit tough, even for me. I'm gonna have to use strong moves to try and weaken it. Not just like regular moves, the strongest moves I could possibly find. Trying to jump at it to at least get 90% of its health down, ideally. We also need to, like, have some tanky Pokemon. Unfortunately, I don't think any of our Pokemon are really that tanky. Like, we have Glade that could work a decent bit, but he's really weak defensive-wise. And the other Pokemon that we have that we could potentially use are not any better. So again, I'm just gonna use Strong Style. Hope I could do a decent enough damage to at least get him to 50% health. Then I'll just throw balls and hope for the best. Obviously, an 85 is not nice to deal with. So we're gonna have to do other stuff, and obviously we may have to even use revives. Not fun, that's for sure. And it's not like this is an easier Pokemon to get. Garchomp is one of the hardest one to catch in the entire game. I say that as I catch out my first try anyway. Could have been much worser. Definitely could have been much worser. Actually, it's something I also just realized. Let's heal before I do anything else. That's when you get. That's when you suddenly learn around the avalanche soaps. It's not necessarily in the avalanche soaps, but around it. Alright. Oh, hello, Charm. You let your guard down quite carelessly for someone out here to reserve fades with care. Face the eldest of misfortunes. This unlucky charm will ensure you fall in battle. Oh boy. This time I couldn't avoid this bandit because normally you could kind of just avoid them using other stuff. And yes, these characters are basically endgame versions of other stuff. So in case you didn't know or haven't been caught up, these are the bandits. They're mean. They are a big part of the storyline and are just really ruthless, and they try to steal people's storyline or stuff. They're effectively the Team Rocket of this game, except instead of it being an army, there's only 3 of them. They're all pretty brutal for multiple reasons, though. The biggest reason is not necessarily because of that Shadow Ball, but because of something else instead. So, yeah, he's not going to do much to me. One time, this guy took out my Samurott from full health. And what it? Not gonna let her do it again, no. But yes, they essentially appear randomly around the area, and if you beat them in battle, you can get extra experience, and you can also get some items for them. Quite formidable, aren't you? This is only a test. Now I know more about you fight, and I won't hold back next time. Alright. And it seems he dropped something after he fled. So yeah, this is a good way to get stuff like the nuggets and other money stuff. And it's crazy. Beyond this and a couple of other stuff, I don't really know much better way to defeat these guys other than the strategies I just used. That was close to being too little. The problem with the heavy balls is it has the weakest possible range of any ball, making it not easy to get. I need to defeat this thing with Psychic. Oh, so let's use that. Alright. Flying Tytos, I can't figure out which one. Interestingly, it didn't show anything completed, which is really strange. Let me just ignore everyone here. I could always come back to Legends later. There are a couple of Pokemon I've been annoyed. I know that much. They're probably hidden on the edges, let's be honest. These stay in Vulpix. Even though they are on the Avalanche Silts, it doesn't really give me much info when it comes to other stuff. Seems the strategy of using Word Deer is not working out as well as I want. So I guess we'll just use it to get up top and then continue exploring using this. And of course there's always tons of other Pokemon to deal with. That's one of those leaves again. Oh, hello, I have a Gritlock here that I didn't even get from other stuff. What do I get rid of? Nana Berry, I do not need you. Let's get rid of that and pick that up. Gritlock is kind of rare. Oh, hello, Vulpix. They're very tiny, too. Goodness, all that looking and we only found one Vulpix after all of that. Lots of movement to the edge. Additionally, that low Vulpix was kind of treading some hot water there, being very... because if you remember smartly enough, is really close to that, Alpha Garchomp, so I he didn't, try to destroy himself by going to that, towards that Alpha Garchomp. As tempting as it is to do, is my very thing, as I find another Vulpix. As tempting as it is to use Braviary to go for the other stuff, I'm still not sure if I should use it all the time. So I'll continue trying to use Wordy as much as I can. But I guess you could use it. Big place I also have to look is on top of the cliffs, which is not easy. I expected that position, by the way, for quite a bit. It was like, since there's a cliff here, there's probably gonna be one of Lone Vulpix up here, right? Alright. Them being in one area supposedly makes it easier to check, though that doesn't necessarily mean they're all gonna be in the same area. Some of them might be in different zones. In fact, yeah, before I do anything else, let's dive into this little cave area right here, and because I assume when they're playing around, one of them might have fallen in here. So we're gonna go in and check and make sure they're all right. Oh, we have the Alpha process as well. I don't remember if I caught this one or not. Okay, well, it definitely eats it. That's good to know. That means we can catch it the same way as we do others. Okay, we apparently did catch it. We just don't remember it because it's been a while. Oh, we have unknown to catch as well. What's funny is, I've tried so hard to catch these, and I don't know why, but I just can't catch them. Oh, there we go. Jeepers. I don't know what was going on with the unknown, let's be honest. I was like, isn't one of them going to be, like, in some kind of odd spot or something? I don't know. Yeah, I need to remember that movement causes them to interrupt their motions. Still caught it, despite being on a Pokeball. We still need Mischievous Pokedex entry. The problem is we haven't been able to kill many of them because they usually run before we get a chance to do anything. The way you get them while trying to wait to run, you pretty much just have to watch them bop around and hit them in the back with a Pokemon instead of a regular thing. Because then if you do that, they can't run, and you'll be able to defeat them more easily. There we go, we finally defeated one. They seem really shy. As you can see, I just now defeated my first one, because every single other one I've tried is always ran away. It's so annoying. Not showing how hard it actually is to get them, so I'm glad I finally did that. Okay, from the looks of it, that didn't work out the best. Note, the white snow in the other backgrounds, depending on what lever, can make it even more difficult to see where the Alolan Vulpix are. Also need to recognize that because you can go on to almost any of the top areas, might not be a bad idea to check up here, make sure there's no mess up that I might are getting. They certainly can't play in all of the most awkward spots, I feel like, but it's still not a bad idea to check this area, particularly up top. Pretty much anything that's in this area, they could be in. Oh, there's the Alpha Lucario down there. I've already gotten that particular one, I think. I'm not sure if I've gotten its Alpha kind, but I've gotten it at least once. I just need to recognize, by the way, that if I see anything that closely resembles a Vulpix, Alolan Vulpix, whatever, I should probably go in and actually look for it. Yeah, class, it looks like, unless Blissey's Alpha, Blissey is just as shy as Nancy is, which I guess makes sense. Oh, hello. Is that like a... I think that's a Pokemon, Happiny, right next to Alolan Vulpix. Interesting. Oh, barely hit it in the back. I had like one chance to get it before it ran away. Glad I got that too, because that's another rare one that's very difficult to get. He did spot me, so I don't think I'll get any rewards. She abused Savvy. So because I used Savvy, I probably won't get rewards for doing other stuff. But hey, at least we got it. It's a new one. I should make a marker of this, like, it's like right here. I should put that. If I see a rare Pokemon, I'm gonna leave a marker of where around the area I roughly found it, because if I come back to that same area, it's likely that I'll come across it again. That's the same strategy I used to get Pichu in the playthrough. I figured out there was this well, I guess even more than that, I didn't necessarily do the same strategy as I used before. I also need to recognize that some of them might be hiding in even odder areas that I don't know about. Right. Just like all the other search spots, by the way, this is gonna be another classic part where I run into another problem yet again. I mean by classic, I mean like, just like with the other searches, you'll find the first few, no problem, but then when you get down to one, you just search in such an odd way in which you could just never find the last one that you are looking for. That happened with the Wisp multiple times, and I feel like that could easily happen again here with the other Wisp. I think my best way of finding these is to just continuously use Braviary to go to the air, and I'm stuck. That's not a good time to get stuck, because as you saw, finally, making Braviary went into the air. Jeez Louise, that took way too long. Let's not to have that to happen again. That in mind, let's use Sneasler to climb up. At least as far as we can go. Okay, you can't be there, because that's the edge of the map. That means it's not there either. Yeah. Well, that resembles something. Anytime I see something that, like, resembles clicks, I should probably look down and investigate whether it's... Okay. That one's even more clear. Oh, and this time it is a Velux as well. Alright, good. There we go. Oi! Mashed out before he, attacked me. Okay. Thanks for helping me search for them. They're all back safe and sound. Alright. Alright. This one seems to have taken a liking to you. If it's right, could you take this little one with you? I'm certain it'll help your survey work. Ooh. It's been a while since I just received them. I'm guessing I could maybe receive Hoda in the same way, too. Okay, well, the next one that we found out that we need is Hippa in Alvaster Icelands as well. I've been waiting for you, Survey Corsa crew. I wanted to give my thanks to a certain pussy that aided me when I was left injured by a wild Pokemon. Help me find it, would you? It's a wild Pokemon that hurt me, and it was a wild Pokemon that helped me. It's a curious world we live in when we, even to a Pokemon, one always give thanks for the one receives. I'd be the shame of my course if I failed to do even that much. Join me at Avalok's Valley here in Alvaster Icelands. That's where I met that pussy. Alright. Okay, then. Tree getting in my way. Very annoying when that happens. You come to help me search out Bussy, have you? It was around here that I met it, but I don't see it now. When did you meet it? Now, recall, when I had been out here for a while, I simply turned around and there was a Bulbasaur. Oh, thank you, Witch. Right into a battle. Big surprise. Next earliest I could be it with is fighting type, so I have to Use Glee for Sal. And we'll once again do the classic strong style close combat to quickly take it out. Alright. It's quite as I thought. Blissey may be one thing, but other Pokemon are still terrifying. Ooh, it seems I managed to tricycle and all that excitement. What? Blissey? Well, this is a bit of fortune, Miss Cern. I brought these fairies to thank you for my help before, Blissey. Here you go. He is terribly kind, isn't it? It treats anyone who needs its help, be they human or Pokemon. Interesting. Shiny Stone and Max Revive was collected for that one. That was a good benefit one. Let's get this lost satchel while we're at it. There it is. Traces of a lost village. Let's do that. That little Snow-Rat just kind of chilling in the middle of this area. Lots of stuff still has to be done. Torn Journal. Interesting. I was on the way back to the village when a blizzard blew in. I decided to take refuge for the night in one of the mountain huts. Get down to some noise. Before me stood, I'ved person or whatever in the fine kimono. Eyes met and beauty stood from yet. It's terrible beauty, frightening to behold. I closed my eyes in terror, waiting for to move on and leave me in peace. When next I opened my eyes, they disappeared, leave behind nothing but the trivets. And the rest of the pages are missing. Oh boy. Well, next. More Snow-Run. What is with the Snow-Run and finding stuff? Okay. Okay, all this attention has brought a Frostlass to us. And the Frostlass is angry at us. Alright. Another forced encounter. This seems almost too common now. Gonna use the Strong Style strat again. It seems like if I don't use Strong Style, I often don't defeat these guys in one hit. Unless I, of course, have busted stats, which I've been getting some really big stats now, thanks to some other stuff. Though I'm probably still gonna have to save them for a bit because there's gonna be something important I'll need them for. Professor seems to have dropped something. It's a bundle of pages without any cover. Looks like they would fit into the gap of the journal that you found earlier. The rest of the pages seem to detail the writer's life in a village, which sounds like it might have been in the Alabaster Icelands. It's hard to believe it's been years now since I began living in the village. But before I enjoyed entries today and happened to be reminded of the once. In an odd way, it reminds me of the person I met that day. But I reminded myself that I live in the real world, not in a world of old fairy tales. Such things can't be true. Why did it do it? Why do I have to remember that? What I speak of my dear, I regret much. It's too late for me to act now. And the rest of it is like, oh well, why did I speak of? Did I speak of her? And if only I'd held my tongue, kept my silence, I wouldn't have ever been subjected to such grief. You better return to Jubilee Village and sell the old journal to the merchant, Manny. And there's also some other stuff. Mushroom hunting with Swinub is next. I don't want to leave this area yet because there's still some more requests to do. When I said there were lots of requests that were missing, a big chunk of ones that were missing were all of the Alabaster Ice Rats requests, which I completely ignored due to doing some other stuff. Now I can quickly do them as well, so that's what I'm doing now. Glad to see you came out all the way here. I've been waiting impatiently with a request. What you say to a spot of mushroom hunting in the snow. The Pokemon trophy that the shrooms around Heart's Quake are quite the delicacy. These little gems are buried in the snow, and only a Swinub's nose can stuff out. That's where your skill's in. Catch yourself a Swinub, take it out foraging, and see if you can find those mushrooms. That would be great. Ooh, this one might actually require me to take out a Swinub. I just realized, because of that, I'm gonna have to put out a Swinub. Honestly, I don't mind doing this right now, because I still have some Pokemon I want to evolve, and I feel like I didn't get enough evolutions done really quickly. Pretty soon I am gonna have to release all my others though. Right, let's move Voltorb back in. I'm still trying to figure out how to evolve them. Turley is already evolved, so we can put him back in with the main loop. And then we'll take out the next Volver, who's gonna be hang on. Let's do Barboach for one of them, and for the remaining one, let's do place you with need to move these down a bit too. I did do some of the legendaries already. I just kept them here so it would be easier to find them. Oh yeah, and a Swinub obviously as well. Because I haven't caught much of them, there's probably a little bit farther back than I would expect. Oh, here's one. Alright. We need to grind them for some evolutions anyway, so why not do it now? And by the way, evolutions are gonna be made so much easier. So I think because of what we just saw there, we simply have to have a Swinub in our party. If we don't have a Swinub in our party, we can't do this request, which I guess makes sense. There's lots of these requests at the other stuff. But I will say that one request with Pachiricha defeated Ursaring, yeah, that's still a bit crazy. I was lucky that I think the Pachiricha I ended up using was Alpha, and or I also gave it some experience, so I was able to defeat it easily. Classic. Okay, yeah, so if I have Swinub in my party, then it triggers. So I simply had to think. Swinub is making some noise. If there's something beneath the sill. Oh, you and Silence shuffled this one out quick. You were the right person for this job. 2 mushrooms left now. Have a Swinub company around Hud's grave and snuffle them out from under the sill. Oh, you got just entering that area. Causes you to chair. Nice. There's something beneath the snow. Oh, that's a Snover. Alright. I did this on purpose so I can try and catch it. And I also need to check to see if I could even catch it at all. We can, okay. It's not one of those. Don't have many Snover, so we're gonna catch it. How the heck not? This way. Can't really get Snover's effect. We need a fire type Pokemon to get. Yeah. Honestly, I thought you were slacking off waiting to have at that Pokeball, but look at the splendid specimen of a mushroom we found. Throughout this foraging stuff, you know. Only one mushroom left. Have a Swinub, a copy around Heartscave, a Cephalid for the cell. That's the second time he said that. Good grief. And here we go. One did you? A fine mushroom indeed. Well done. Yo, Buffalo. We still need to get more JSF to be fair. Fantastic effort all around. You and Swinub did a great job tracking down those free mushrooms I was after. Fun foraging with you both. Pokemon and people together make a great team. To forage with you elsewhere, perhaps with a new Pokemon pal to help along. Be hard to top Swinub though. Its snuffling skills may well be the best out there. To think, Swinub that discovered the hot swing in the parallel side too. Maybe I should just really partner up with a Swinub, huh? Borrow and Swinub, the mushroom hunting dream duo. Sounds good, doesn't it? Oh, and I forgot to do my lost and found thing. Guess because I only just barely started farming these again. Alright. What next is in the Alabaster Icelands? Elderwall Ravine. Fieldlands Camp. Search for a mysterious black Pokemon and appears around Clamber Clock F's at night. Fortunately, it doesn't seem like either of those are present. That means we're gonna just go back with the Pokemon we have. Alright. At some point, I am probably going to get the 10th research level, probably normally, just by finishing off all these search tasks and evolving several Pokemon. Of course, now with a... so it really helps out a lot. There's also other things I have to deal with. And... I still have to get that Play of the Snow Temple. I think I'm gonna do that in a separate video to see if I can the game maybe later once I've done all the other requests. Alright. 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 Do you find any trace of a solid that might have once been around the Ava slopes? Read around in your search, but you can't seem to find the old trail you picked up. So you found an odd gel, but now it's gone, and you got it from a Pokemon? Well, don't leave me in suspense. What in the world did it say? That lines up exactly with the stories I heard by old Grand about the village. For being just true, my ancestors did really come from a village that once existed there. No idea how many years I wondered if I could believe those tales not. I really owe you a great deal for looking to this for me and clearing out my doubts. And a free Dawnstone. Still have to wonder, why would a Pokemon be carrying an old journal that once spawned for him? And you say it disappeared? I wonder if somehow it returns to that Pokemon again. Interesting. This might open up something interesting. If that sounds in a... then... who knows? I'm getting tired of doing this, by the way. I know this guy has lots of stuff to do, but like... I wonder how many spots I could fit before he'll be done. It's crazy how many you could fit in. Oh, we still have to do some other stuff. Let's quickly go to the farm and finish that. Or not. It's not done yet. Okay, you know what? We're gonna do what seems to be the Gyarados mission next. How odd, I've not been given a clue. A clue whatsoever where... Alright, go, let's say you take the Pokemon here in the lab with you on your search. I'd love to. I'm sure the chance to help if you share you with my A Pokemon. It's actually a one stuck in so long. Oh, so this is how you get the other ones. Oh, now we finally got our starters. So you're given them later once you are, once you get through the end game. That's cool. Unfortunately, I didn't get much about the request. I also... It's kind of funny. I'd never talked to the professor just on his own, and so I didn't know that that can happen. Oh, and you can still record your findings here. It's really odd. Okay, unfortunately he doesn't tell me anything of this. Ah, bullcrap. I guess the only way I can do this is to just catch Pokemon doing other stuff. But I guess, since I am almost done, one thing I will do is show off the new strat for grinding. But also, like, just start using my XP stuff to train Pokemon. I'm still not going to use all of it because I'm saving it for certain Pokemon that are going to be needed for a specific thing anyways. If I want to get the best chance of winning, I need to make sure that these Pokemon get their levels. I can't get it by just doing nothing. But anyways, it's mostly the same as before, strategy as before, but it's a bit different. This one in particular will get faster once you you have enough strong stuff. It does still use the battling method as well, but you can also use the catching method. In fact, I'll go ahead and catch it just to prove my point, because I do still need to catch multiple Blissies along with Alpha Blissies too. Alright, so anyway, I guess we'll catch that Gyarados while we're at it. But yeah, so if you go over to this right side, this Alpha Blissey will appear all the time. You can throw out a few to acid if you want, but once that's done, you want to go straight to your Gigaton balls and use one on it while you're behind it, and you can more easily catch it. And yeah. And yes, if you are catchy at using a strategy, it is technically faster because you don't have to go into the battle to get it. It's also better for farming other stuff. But yeah, that's all you really do. Go out and catch it and do other stuff. But the reason why I'm showing it off is previously when I did the Blissey fight, I did not have the best setup. In fact, most of the time, my setup was really terrible. I just didn't have the best setup. So that's when I learned how to do some better strategies that would work better. And it's through stuff like that that I've learned how to catch several Pokemon. Even these flyers that are kind of just out in the middle of nowhere. These guys you pretty much have to catch with jet balls. You don't have a choice. And of course, aiming jet balls, that's the hardest thing. The only problem, or not problem, that you don't really have to deal with as much is if they do break out, you can immediately hit them again because they actually stop for a few minutes before they go around in circles again. So as you can see, you can kind of just rapidly hit them until they finally catch. And as you can see, yes, there's a reward for catching them using that. But beyond that, if you're wondering how to do the Blissey farm, initially I mentioned how you could do a particular Blissey farm that could help you a little bit, but not necessarily the best. Well, this next strategy will allow you to do that same strat, but even easier. All you have to do is go in and make as many Gigaton balls as you can to get like an amount, and then yeah, kind of leave and do other stuff. This also acts as a good money farm too, but anyways, the fast strat is simple. You catch the Blissey using that strat. Now you can still fight it, and it is still pretty easy to get, but if you want more experience or want to like exchange other stuff, I'll show you something else that you can do as well. Rather than dealing with Blissey the normal way, you can actually just completely ignore it and do other stuff. Also, how often do you see 3 mass outbreaks in a row? Good grief, somebody really wants me to catch Yama, it seems, but don't really care. Since I'm not really interested in getting Yama, I'm pretty sure I've maxed on as far as stuff goes anyways. But yeah, pretty interesting. I will say, if you are going to use jet balls to capture some of the harder Pokemon, or even unknowns for the same reason, then I definitely recommend using the strat that Yusabi used just now. There's also other strategies you can do that would help too. Like if you flip to Blissey's page, likes a specific kind of food. If you give that to him, it'll make it even easier, but you have to make the food yourself. Also, it seems like it's only honey cakes will work, so note, if you use anything other than honey cakes, Blissey will just get angry at you instead. That's what happens when you use other stuff. But beyond that, you don't want to go too soon, because if you go too soon, the setup will happen. But if you go too late, you can also have Blissey turn around while you're doing a height, which makes it a bit trickier. But beyond that, just use the Gigaton balls, assuming you have them. Hit them in the back, and you'll catch it basically every time. It's a good way to get not only a lot of catch points done for Blissey, but each time you do so, as you saw there, you might have seen on the left, your Pokemon get tons of experience, around 8,000 or so, and also, instead of getting a regular experience when farming, you get what's called, let's see here, an EXP Candy L, which is even better than a regular XP Candy. So if you get that, you can then use that to evolve some of our Pokemon, and see now my Pokemon are suddenly ready for evolution. You can just evolve them right there on the spot. It's really nice. This is probably the best way to evolve Pokemon. And if you do it this way, you technically don't need a strong Pokemon in, though it's still a good idea to keep a strong Pokemon like Galarian just in case you do mess up. It's like the minimum you need. Though it'd probably be easier if you did other stuff with it. But yes, we're gonna evolve these because we need evolutions anyway. Obviously, though, those Pokemon do take up a little bit of space, so what do you do when you run out of space? Well, I'm gonna actually show that off. Now, the only problem is you have to go to the professor each time, though. Going to the professor is a bit quicker than to other stuff. Okay. Alright, Barvoach is already completed. So I'm glad I evolved him. But anyways, if you're wondering what you can do to like fix the problem of not being able to do stuff, there's actually two things you could do. You could just find other ways to get rid of the Pokemon, but I guess no. What do you do when you run out of Pokemon? Well, the simplest way to do it is to go to any camp, go to this guy. If you don't have need for certain Pokemon, like, let's see here. I don't have all need for this Bidoof and Starry. Just select Release Multiple. Put check marks on them. Like this. And just like you do this with the other ones, you'll want to do this with the Blissies. Do not do this with everybody. If you want to keep some, make sure to keep them. Like, Eevee's an important one to keep, as well as other Pokemon. But if you have no need for other Pokemon because you've already completed its Pokedex, then this is not a bad idea to do once. Because once you get a large Pokemon, it becomes really tight to do stuff. I'm gonna keep these Magikarp just for something else later, but get rid of that. And then also, if you want to get best points, you can just go ahead and release those Alpha Blissies as well. I have one in a separate area that I'm keeping. These one I'm gonna release though. And when you release them, you'll see, oh, they've left something behind. And as you can see, you can use this as a way to get crit items. So if you're having trouble firing up a Pokemon's stats, yeah, you can use this as a way to get crit items for free. And each time you release one of those alphas, that grit item is what you attain, which is nice because finding some of these items can be rather difficult to find. But yeah, it's fun. And of course, those are going to be useful for some stuff later because we'll need these at some point to do other stuff. But leave a like if you guys enjoyed this video, cut, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.